Welcome back to my channel, friends. In this video I'll be showing you how to make a Jarvis using Python, and if you are new to this video, please do subscribe so that I can post a lot of videos. We all are aware of Amazon and Google Assistant, but have you ever thought how this system works and make one for yourself? If yes, then this video is entirely dedicated for you. Let me tell you one thing, that I'm not going to use this both system, but instead I will be programming one which mimics this both. So let me show you the demo, then we move on to our project.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
On the lights.
Initiating your request.
Light off.
Initiating your request.
On the fan.
Initiating your request.
Off the fan.
Initiating your request.
On the TV.
Initiating your request.
TV off.
Initiating your request.
Who is APG Abdul Kalam?
Searching. Abul Pakir J.A.R.V.I.S Abdul Kalam. Listen, October 15, 1931 to July 27, 2015, was an Indian aerospace scientist and politician who served as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. He was born and raised in Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu, and studied physics and aerospace engineering.
Open movies.
Initiating your request.
So waiting for what? Let's get started.
So before working up with project code, let us discuss about the components required. The first component which we need is relays. Here relays are nothing but digital magnetic switches which works based on digital signals. To supply the digital signal we need microcontroller. The microcontroller which I am using is Arduino Uno. We need some jumper wires for connections and battery for supplying the power to the relays. Then here loads are nothing but output voltage devices. You can use any kind of loads. Let us discuss about the software requirements. The first software which we need is Arduino IDE. I suggest you all to install the latest version of Arduino IDE. The Python editor which I am using is Visual Studio Code, and it's not necessary that you have to use the same. You can use any Python editor you want. So let's move on to our programming part. Now we need to create a new file. To do that, just go for File, press New File, then save the file. Here you can give any name. I'm gonna give Jarvis.py. So okay, after successfully saving the file, go for View and enable the output. Then go for the terminal. Here press pip install. pytts63. After installing the module, we can start importing the functions of pytts63. So here, okay, it's successfully installed. Now to use the functions of pytts63 module, we need to write import pytts63. Then we need to create an object to initialize the pytts63 model. You can give any name to the object. I'm going to give the object name as engine. Then we need to write pytts63 dot init, and inside the bracket pass the engine name. I'm gonna pass Sapphire as the engine name, and you can also try with NSSS as well as eSpeak. So I'm directly going to use save function to check whether my system works. So to do that, just write engine dot say hello, how are you. So I'm gonna use dot save function to make our system speak. Here I have made a mistake. It is saying pytt sx3. So after this, you need to write engine dot run in engine dot say. Inside that, pass the parameter which you would like to hear. I'm gonna pass hello, how are you instead of hello world. Okay, then you need to write engine dot run and wait. So we are done now. Let's run and debug to check whether system works.
Hello, how are you?
Okay, this is working perfect, and we can also manipulate voice, rate as well as volume. I'm gonna show you how to adjust rate. In the same way you can carry out with volume as well as voice. So here we have a function called get property to know the current rate of our module, that is current speech rate. So to do that, just type a variable name. You can give any variable name here. I'm gonna write speech rate equal to engine dot get property, then pass the parameter, that is rate. Here rate is nothing but a built-in function under pytts63. Okay, now to print the value of rate in the output, we need to write print. Then if you are not satisfied with this rate, then you can change the rate. To do that, you need to write engine dot get set property, then pass the parameter, that is rate, comma. Here you can set the value. I'm gonna pass 125 as the value. So after writing this, we need to write save function again to check the speed of the rate. Okay, let's run and debug to check whether it works.
Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?
So you can see that it is working great. Now let's move on to our next model, but before that, let's make some changes to our code. These changes are optional. Now we are going to create our own function. Here function is nothing but multiple lines of code defined in a single statement. Advantage of creating function is instead of writing the code again and again, we can write it once and use it whenever it is required, and debugging become easy. So let us see the syntax of creating function. First we need to write def. Here def is a keyword. Function name is the name given by the user, and you can give any name here. Then we need to pass the parameter. Here parameter is optional. Then we need to write multiple lines of code to define what function name is going to do, and we can use this function name whenever it is required. So let us create the function name. I'm gonna define my function name as talk. Then inside that I'm passing a variable called audio. Two things. Then we have to write engine dot say pass the parameter, that is audio, then engine.run and wait. So outside the function we need to write talk, then we need to pass the parameter. I'm gonna pass hello, how are you, and I'm going to cancel out unnecessary part. This is just for explanation purpose. Okay, let us run and debug to check whether it works.
Hello, how are you?
So we have successfully created a function. Let's move on to our next module, that is speech recognition. Type here pip install speech recognition. After installing speech recognition module, we need to install pyaudio. To do that, we need to again type the command pip install pyaudio. After installing pyaudio, we can successfully import speech recognition module. Import speech recognition as SR. After writing this, we need to create a function because the code for this is going to be too large. To avoid the complexity, we are creating the function def listen. Here listen is a function name and it's totally up to you, we can give any name. Then we need to create an object to activate speech recognition module. To do that, we need to write object name. I'm giving R as an object name. After that, we need to write sr.recognizer. This will activate speech recognition module. To choose microphones, if we want to choose default microphone, then we need to use this with sr.microphone as source. This is the procedure for choosing default microphone. But if we need to choose some other microphone, then there is another procedure. So let's look out how to do that. We need to create a variable called mic equal to sr.microphone dot list microphone names. After that, we need to print mic so that we can check out what kind of mics are available. For now, we don't need this statement with sr.microphone as source. After doing this, we need to use function out of definition. I'm writing after talk listen. That's it. Now let's run and debug to check out which kind of mic we are using.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
So you can check out in the screen. The first microphone is Microsoft Sound Mapper input. Second microphone is microphone VoMic. Third microphone is microphone Realtek R audio. Like this, there are so much of microphones. Among these, we need to choose whichever mic we are using. The microphone which I am using is microphone VoMic device. Now we need to check out the index of this. Always index starts from 0. At 0th index, the microphone is Microsoft Sound Mapper input. At first index, microphone VoMic device. Since we are using this microphone, we need to remember our index as 1. So let us check out how to use this index. To do that, we need to create again mic is equal to sr dot microphone device index. is equal to 1. Since my microphone is present at index 1, that's why I'm giving index name as 1. After that, we need to continue with with mic as source colon print listening. To make user understand that machine has started listening, we need to use r.pause threshold. It's nothing but minimum seconds of non-audio after user completes speaking. This is used to make computer understand that user has completed speech. Once we are done with this, it's time for our computer to record our speech in temporary memory. To do that, we need to create a variable. Here, I am going to create a variable name as raw data. Then we need to write r.listen source. So here what happens is, whatever we speak will be stored in the machine. So whatever is stored in the machine will be in the format of machine level language, which is not understood by humans. So what we need to do is, we need to convert those raw data into text format. To do that, we need to supply this raw data to Google engine. So let's see how to do that. First we need to write print listening, recognizing, to make user understand that computer started processing raw data into text. Okay, after that we need to create a variable query equal to r dot recognize Google. Then we need to pass the parameter as raw data. After that, we need to select the language. The language, since I am in India, so I will use English in. That's it. Once we are completed, we can print user side query. This is for verification purpose. Now we can run and debug, but here arises a problem. That is, sometimes Google engine may not know what you said, so it might throw an error. If it throws an error, we need to run it again. It might be little kind of frustrating. So to avoid errors, we need to use try and except statements. Actually, you can use if and else, but try and except statements are much faster in execution. That's why I am using try and except statements. So let us see how to do that. Here we need to write try, then intending. If Google doesn't understand, then we need to write except exception as e, print e, print, say that again, return none. But if try statement is executed successfully, then we need to return query. So we are done with programming. Now let us check out whether our listen function is working properly. It's taking time
Hello,
for
how are you?
execution. Okay,
Good
executed.
morning.
Hello, how are you? So we have successful Wikipedia module. To install, we need to write the commands pip install Wikipedia. Fully executed. Now it's time for us to use some other modules. Wikipedia. It's taking time to install, but by then I'll write import Wikipedia. Okay, we have successfully installed Wikipedia module. So from now onwards, we are going to put our code inside while true to execute our our code continuously. To do that, we need to write while true. Then after while true, we need to write query equal to listen dot lower. Why we are doing this? Because whenever we speak, our words contain mix of capital letters plus small letters. So this might mess up with our hotkeys. Here, hotkeys are nothing but particular words. When hotkeys matches with our query, then particular code will be executed. So let's see how to do that. Here I am creating if who is in query. What happens is our query will be compared with who is hotkeys. So if our query matches with hotkeys, then if statement will be executed. If query doesn't matches with hotkeys, then if statement will not be executed. So let's see that when we get the results. But before that, let's start creating. Talk. Searching. Wikipedia takes time for searching the results, so we need to give the time. That's why we have wrote searching. After that, we need to write query equal to query dot replace. Inside that, we need to write Wikipedia comma nothing. So what happens here is this will place our query inside the Wikipedia. Now we will get entire summary of Wikipedia, but what we want is just sentences, that is maybe one or two sentences. To get particular sentence of result, we need to write results equal to Wikipedia dot summary. Then we need to pass our query comma sentences equal to I need only just one sentence, that's why I'm writing one. So after getting the summary, we need our system to talk out those results. To do that, we need to write talk results. That's it. We are done with Wikipedia module. So let us run this and check it out whether it works or not.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Who is Donald Trump?
Searching.
So we have given a query which matches with our hotkeys. In the next statement, I am going to give a query which doesn't matches with hotkeys.
The family of Donald Trump, the owner of the Trump Organization and 45th President of the United States, is a prominent American family active in real estate, entertainment, business, and politics.
Hello, how are you? So we have passed a query which doesn't matches our hotkeys. So a module. Now it's time for us to make our system intelligent using OS module. This module helps us to operate with our OS file. That is, you can access movies, songs, PDF, PPT using your voice. Cool, right? So let us see how to do that. Now we need to write import OS. After writing import OS, inside while loop you need to create another hotkey. To do that, you need to write else. Give a hotkey name. I am giving it as open movies. Then inquiry. That's it. Then write talk initiating your request. That's it. Now we have to create a variable name. I'm giving my variable name as code path. After creating the code path, we need to find a path for a file which we need to open. I like to access a movie called Venom. So to access this movie, we need to access the code path. Now what we need to do is we need to simply copy this code path. Copy it, then paste it inside here. After accessing the code path, we need to mention the directories. Here directory is nothing but we need to tell our computer what all files are available inside this path. So to do that, we need to create another variable. I am giving another variable name as movies equal to os dot list directory. Then place code path inside that. Okay. So this statement is going to access the list of files available in the code path. So now to access a particular file, we need to write os dot start file, then os dot path dot join code path comma movies. So to access a particular movie, we need to use the index of that movie. That is, Venom is present at third index. Always indexing starts from 0. So at 0th index, Irumbuthira movie is present. At first index Kapan, second index Thor the Dark World, and third index Venom. So I would like to access this movie Venom. So to access this movie, I need to remember my index as 3. Now paste the index here. Inside the square bracket, we need to write 3. That's it. So let's try it out whether it works or not. Okay, I'm really sorry. I should have written L if. Okay, now it's right. Now let's run and debug.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Open movies.
Initiating your request.
So you can see that it has successfully opened a file. Time for us to check whether the file is Venom or not. So you can see the heading itself. So that's it for today's video, and rest of the programs will be covered in the next part. So please stay tuned. Thanks for watching.